Okay, so big special congratulations to Juan Soto for winning the 2022 MLB Home Run Derby. An amazing final versus Julio Rodriguez, the 21-year-old dynamo from the Seattle Mariners. It was the youngest final ever, 23 versus 21. Incredible. Just goes to show how young these kids are, how good these kids are, and it's a really good sign for years to come in Major League Baseball. I have some things for you today. I got some news and a couple other things too. But before I do that, my apologies yesterday. My YouTube got a little glitchy yesterday and it affected the sound quality of one of my videos. And I think it's rectified now. But what I'm going to do is, once the draft is over today, I'm going to go over all 20 rounds for the Yankees, give you my breakdown of the picks and whatnot. Yesterday was the first 10 rounds, but that's where the sound quality was affected. So I'll break it down for you in entirety today once it's done, so that you don't miss any of the picks, and you get all the insight and the intel that you need on the Yankees. So I know, and they've had a good start to this draft, a really, really good start. So I'm encouraged by what they were doing. Now, let's pivot to the big news. Juan Soto. I'm hearing a lot more stuff. Okay, and some of the stuff is outlandish, but I want to share it with you so that you know everything that I know. And and in order to continue to do that too, I'll keep feeding you whatever I get on this channel. So please subscribe if you haven't done so yet, so that you don't miss anything in whenever it comes to Juan Soto, Ryan Reynolds, whoever, Luis Castillo, Yankees. We're 2 weeks away from the trade deadline. It's going to get nuts, and I don't want you to miss anything, especially on trade deadline day where it gets really crazy the last couple hours, and I'll be live for most of the day. So I don't want you missing breaking news, particularly if it's big news. So because you'll get it right when it happens. So one way or another, but I greatly appreciate you subscribing, your support. And, look forward to continuing to bring this stuff to you. Also, want to give a shout out to Hector over at Knights of Degen. Degen. It's a baseball channel. If you haven't heard of it, go take a look at it. We did a collaboration. We did a video together yesterday. We talked about Soto, the trade deadline, and he's got a very special baseball podcast called Yankees Morning Brew. It's one of the up-and-coming Yankee channels, and it's a good channel with good content. And I was especially excited because it's a New York City boy and a New York City boy. So when we put together two New York City boys, it's a lot of fun. So I had a great time, and thanks so much for having me, Hector. I appreciate you. I'll have you on real soon, and please check it out. The video's down below. It's linked in the description, and if you enjoy it, please hit the subscribe button. Support his channel by subscribing. I like to do videos with people that I enjoy doing it with, but I think that you will enjoy doing it with too, and I think you'll enjoy his channel. So it's a lot of fun, and so please support it. It not only means a lot to him, but it'll be I would be grateful as well. But with that, let's get to the Juan Soto news. Here's a couple things I'm hearing. Okay, number one, one of the major components of this is any team that acquires Juan Soto, and we're hearing Yankees, Mets, Padres, Dodgers, and who knows who else is going to come out of the woodwork, but there's going to be basically about a handful of teams who can actually pull this thing off. But not only are you going to have to give him a huge extension, which is obvious, but I'm hearing that the Nationals want you to forfeit your number 1, 2, 3, and 4 prospects. Your top 4 prospects in any trade for Soto. And either assume Patrick Corbin's contract or Steven Strasburg's contract, okay? And I heard an even more outlandish suggestion, but I'm not exactly sure if this one's how accurate it is, but somebody mentioned that possibly assuming both of them in order to get Soto. I'll get to that. But if I'm Brian Cashman, here are my counter proposals, okay? Counter proposal 1, let's just go on the assumption that the Yankees will give up their first 4 prospects. And then we'll start from there. Volpe, Dominguez, Peraza, and Austin Wells are there 1 through 4 as of this week, okay, as of today. So let's just say you're assuming Patrick Corbin's contract. He signed a 6-year, $140 million deal in 2019 before the World Series. He's got 3 years left. $23 million in 2023 and 2024, and $35 million in 2025. So it's relatively backloaded. It's a total of $81 million for the next 3 years after the season. Steven Strasburg, okay, is 7 years, $245 million that he signed after the World Series. So there are 4 years left on his contract at $35 million per year at $140 million total. So that's a much more substantial contract. And he's thrown maybe, 10 innings since the World Series that year. So he has not been healthy, it doesn't bode well for him. Okay, but with that said, proposal number 1. You want us to assume Corbin's contract if I'm Cashman? Okay, you got to take Hicks, you got to take Chapman, and you got to take Gallo off our hands. as part of this deal. You're taking up prospects too, but you got to take these 3 guys. The 2 of them expire this year, their contracts, and then you have Hicks to replace Juan Soto as a major league ready outfielder on the cheap for the next 3 years, okay? So you're still saving about $40 million on this trade. But that's what we need to happen. If you want us to take Corbin, we need you to do this. Otherwise, we can't do this trade. Okay? That's door number 1. Door number 2, you want us to assume Steven Strasburg, which is the bigger contract, then we want one of those prospects back. And let's just say it's Jason Dominguez, as well as you taking those 3 players too, Hicks, Gallo, and Chapman. But we want one of our top prospects back. Let's say it's Dominguez, so they can come over here and maybe be mentored by somebody like Juan Soto. And Hector pointed that out. It was a great point. Fantastic point. And I like that idea. It's kind of a big brother thing going on. You have 2 dynamic prospects. But if you're going to take this big contract, Herculean, $140 million back, we want one of our top 4 back. It's got to be that way. Otherwise, we can't do it. Okay? And lastly, the crazy one, the taking Strasburg and Corbin. My counter proposal is... do you want to hear it again? That's what my counter proposal is. You know, I'm going to give them a box of crazy pills and be like, you guys are nuts. Okay? Absolutely crazy. You want us to do this? You are not getting Volpe or Dominguez or Peraza. I'll give you Gleyber Torres and maybe Anthony Sigler or something like that. But that's what you're going to get. You want us to assume this $220 million off of your books when you're already a super duper wealthy team. I know you want to sell the team, but we're not going to be that stupid. Okay? There's no way in the world we're going to do that. No way. No way. So those are my 3 proposals in terms of what I'm hearing right now. You let me know what you think. Okay? Is there another proposal and a door number 4 that you would suggest? And what would it be? Let's talk about this. Let's get into this because it's going to get crazy from here on. All right? I'll talk to you then.